Welcome back to Hopeful Horizon, where we share stories that inspire, captivate, and challenge the way we see the world. Today, we're diving into a tale of courage, survival, and an unexpected twist at a gas station that turns a routine stop into a moment of reckoning. Off-duty Detective Jordan Hayes faces a hostile gang of bikers while simply trying to fill up his truck. What begins as intimidation quickly escalates, but Jordan's calm, precise moves reveal there's much more to him than meets the eye. Stay with us as this story unfolds with gripping action, justice served, and a message you won't forget. If you love tales packed with resilience and transformation, be sure to comment and let us know where you're listening from. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a powerful story from Hopeful Horizon. The late afternoon sun hung lazily in the sky, casting long shadows over the winding rural road. Detective Jordan Hayes relaxed behind the wheel of his rust-colored truck, enjoying the rhythmic thrum of tires against asphalt. He was returning from a peaceful weekend fishing trip, a rare break from the pressures of his job in the city. His cooler in the back seat held 2 modest trout, a humble victory he was more than satisfied with. The tranquility of the drive was disrupted by the blinking fuel gauge on the dashboard. Sighing, Jordan scanned the horizon until he spotted an old gas station sitting at the crossroads of nowhere and nothing. Peeling paint clung desperately to the sides of the small convenience store, and a single weathered sign swung creakily in the breeze. "Guess this'll do," he muttered, pulling into the nearly empty lot. A row of gleaming motorcycles stood like metal sentinels near the entrance, their chrome surfaces glinting in the fading sunlight. The riders, rough-looking men dressed in leather jackets adorned with skull patches and faded insignias, lounged by the bikes, talking loudly and laughing boisterously. Jordan took a mental note of them, but didn't give it much thought. Trouble tended to brew where egos gathered, but he wasn't one to stir the pot unnecessarily. Dressed in worn jeans, a gray hoodie, and sneakers, Jordan looked every bit the casual traveler. His badge and sidearm remained hidden beneath the seat of his truck. He stepped out, the gravel crunching beneath his boots, and inserted the nozzle into his tank. As fuel flowed, he tilted his head toward the distant hum of cicadas, letting the calm settle over him. That peace was short-lived. "Hey, look at this one," a deep voice drawled, loud enough to carry across the lot. Jordan's eyes flicked toward the group without turning his head. The man speaking was burly, with a thick black beard and a prominent skull tattoo on his neck. His eyes gleamed with mischief as he nudged one of his companions. "City boy lost his way," the biker added, his voice dripping with mockery. Jordan chose silence, a tactic that often worked better than engagement. He focused on the pump, the numbers ticking upward steadily. Undeterred by the lack of response, the biker sauntered closer, his heavy boots thudding against the pavement. "Hey, I'm talking to you," he said, stepping into Jordan's line of sight. "You deaf or just rude?" The detective met his gaze with calm, steady eyes. "Just minding my own business," he replied evenly. The biker's lips curled into a smirk. "That's so. Funny, 'cause this here's our business, ain't it, boys?" The group erupted into laughter, emboldened by their leader's bravado. Jordan remained composed, his years of experience teaching him that bullies thrived on reaction. As he replaced the nozzle, one of the younger bikers sauntered up and deliberately kicked over a nearby trash can, sending wrappers and bottles clattering across the pavement. "Oops," the biker said with mock innocence. "Guess I made a mess." The laughter grew louder. Jordan clenched his jaw but kept his composure. He bent down, calmly picking up the scattered trash without a word. The display of restraint only seemed to amuse them further. The leader crossed his arms, shaking his head in mock disbelief. "Man, you're something else. Got no spine, huh? Just a little soft city boy passing through." Jordan straightened, brushing dust from his jeans. "You done?" The smile faded from the leader's face, replaced by a glint of irritation. "Not by a long shot, city boy." Jordan's muscles tensed subtly as his instincts kicked in. Trouble was brewing, and it was only a matter of time before the situation boiled over. As he turned to walk back to his truck, the leader reached out and clamped a hand on Jordan's shoulder. "You ain't leaving yet," he growled. "Not until we're done." The air grew thick with tension, the oppressive heat of the day mirroring the escalating hostility. Jordan stood still, his mind calculating every possible move. The bikers formed a loose circle around him, their leather jackets creaking as they shifted into positions of intimidation. One of them, a wiry man with a snake tattoo winding up his forearm, grabbed the gas pump handle and waved it mockingly. "Hope you got enough fuel, city boy. You might be stuck here a while." The group roared with laughter. Jordan's voice was low but firm. "Put that down and step back." The leader, undeterred, stepped closer until his breath was hot against Jordan's face. "You think you're better than us, huh? Walking in here like you own the place?" "I don't want any trouble," Jordan said, his tone measured. "But you're about to get it if you keep pushing." The leader's eyes gleamed with challenge. Big talk for a little man. The shove came without warning, a hard jolt to Jordan's chest that would have sent most people stumbling backward. But Jordan held his ground, his balance impeccable. He exhaled slowly, his voice steady. "Walk away while you still can." The warning hung in the air like a loaded gun, but the bikers were too blinded by bravado to heed it. "What's he gonna do, huh?" Snake Tattoo sneered. "Call his mommy?" The leader grinned wickedly. "Nah, I think he's gonna cry." Jordan's calm facade didn't waver, but beneath it, a storm was brewing. Years of training in special operations had taught him one thing above all: control the situation before it controls you. The leader took another step forward, fists clenched. "Come on, city boy, show us what you got." Jordan's response was swift and deliberate. In one fluid motion, he grabbed the leader's wrist, twisting it with precision until the biker let out a pained grunt. The gas pump handle clattered to the ground. The bikers froze, disbelief flickering across their faces. "You really don't want to do this," Jordan warned, his grip unyielding. The leader snarled, wrenching his arm free. "Get him!" The circle collapsed inward as the bikers charged. Jordan moved like a force of nature, calculated, efficient, and relentless. He ducked under a wild swing from Snake Tattoo, driving his elbow into the man's ribs with a satisfying thud. Another biker lunged, but Jordan sidestepped gracefully, hooking his leg behind the attacker's knee and sending him sprawling to the ground. The leader roared in frustration, grabbing a rusted metal pipe from the ground. He swung wildly, but Jordan anticipated the move, disarming him with a sharp twist and sending the pipe skittering across the pavement. In less than a minute, 3 bikers were groaning on the ground, nursing bruises and battered egos. The remaining 2 hesitated, their bravado faltering. "You want some too?" Jordan asked, his voice deadly calm. They backed off, hands raised in surrender. The leader, panting and red-faced, glared at Jordan with pure hatred. "This ain't over," he spat. Jordan's expression remained unreadable. "It's over when I say it is." The wail of approaching sirens broke the tense silence. The station manager had apparently seen enough and called the authorities. As the sound grew louder, Jordan bent down to pick up his truck keys. He looked the leader square in the eye. "Next time," he said quietly, "think twice before you mess with someone you don't know." The bikers stood frozen as Jordan calmly refueled his truck, the situation firmly back under his control. The flashing lights of police cruisers illuminated the lot as the sirens wailed to a stop. Jordan stood tall, ready to see justice served. The heat seemed to press down heavier on the cracked pavement as Jordan Hayes remained poised, his feet planted firmly while the gang leader rubbed his sore wrist and glared. The man's pride was visibly wounded, but it hadn't diminished his thirst for a fight. "You're gonna regret that," the leader growled, voice thick with fury. The threat hung in the air, heavy and dangerous, as the other bikers shifted uneasily. It was clear they hadn't expected this level of resistance from the seemingly average man in casual clothes. But bravado won out over common sense, and one by one, the gang members steeled themselves for the next move. The leader lunged first, his fist swinging wide in an angry arc. Jordan sidestepped with effortless precision, catching the man's arm and twisting it behind his back. A sharp grunt escaped the leader's lips as Jordan applied controlled pressure, immobilizing him without breaking a sweat. "You need better reflexes," Jordan muttered under his breath. Another biker, younger and wiry, with wild, unkempt hair, charged forward. He threw a punch aimed at Jordan's ribs, but Jordan anticipated it. Releasing the leader with a shove, he ducked low, sweeping the younger man's legs from under him. The biker hit the ground hard, his helmet rattling against the pavement as he groaned in pain. The rest of the gang hesitated, uncertainty flickering across their faces. "You all sure you want to keep this up?" Jordan asked, his voice calm but firm. "I've got plenty of time." One biker, taller and more muscular than the rest, apparently took the question as a challenge. He bellowed like a bull and charged forward, his massive fists swinging wildly. Jordan let the man's momentum do the work. He stepped to the side, grabbed the back of the biker's leather jacket, and used the force to send him stumbling headfirst into the side of the gas pump. The metallic clang echoed through the station as the biker collapsed, groaning. "3 down," Jordan said quietly, dusting off his hands. The remaining 2 bikers exchanged nervous glances. Their earlier confidence had evaporated, replaced by a creeping realization that they had severely underestimated their target. "You done?" Jordan asked, tilting his head slightly. One of them took a cautious step back, hands raised in surrender. "We were just messing around, man," he stammered. "Didn't mean nothing by it." Jordan gave a slow nod, eyes never leaving them. "Smart choice." The faint sound of sirens pierced the thick, humid air, growing louder with each passing second. Backup was on its way. The leader, still nursing his twisted arm, scowled as he struggled to his feet. "This ain't over," he spat. "We'll see you again." Jordan stepped closer, his voice low and commanding. "If you see me again, you better run the other way." The leader's jaw clenched, but he said nothing more as the approaching red and blue lights reflected off the gas station's windows. The police cruisers screeched to a halt, gravel spraying across the pavement. Doors flew open, and uniformed officers emerged, hands resting on their holstered weapons as they assessed the scene. The station manager, a wiry man with graying hair, stood near the entrance, his face pale and anxious. He had witnessed the entire confrontation, but hadn't dared to intervene. Now, he waved frantically at the officers, gesturing toward the bikers sprawled across the lot. "Over here. These guys were causing trouble," the manager called out. The lead officer, a stocky man with a salt and pepper mustache, took one look at Jordan and immediately recognized him. His stern expression softened into a respectful nod. "Detective Hayes," he greeted, lowering his hand from his gun. Jordan returned the nod. "Officer Daniels." The other officers visibly relaxed, realizing they were in the presence of a decorated detective known for his unflappable demeanor and impressive case record. The bikers, on the other hand, were visibly rattled. Their bravado had completely vanished, replaced by wide-eyed disbelief as they processed what was happening. "Detective?" one of them whispered, his voice trembling. The leader's face twisted into a mask of fury and disbelief. "You're a cop," he spat, as if the revelation were a personal betrayal. Jordan's lips curved into a faint smile. "Surprise." Daniels gestured toward the bikers. "Cuff 'em," he ordered. The officers moved swiftly, securing the gang members with practiced efficiency. The leader struggled briefly, but was subdued with little effort. "You're under arrest for assault," one officer informed him, "and from the looks of it, we might have more to add once we run your records." Daniel's radio crackled to life as dispatch confirmed what Jordan already suspected. "Multiple outstanding warrants on at least 3 of these guys," a voice reported. Daniels shook his head in disbelief. "Looks like you picked the wrong gas station, boys." The leader glared at Jordan with unyielding hatred. "This ain't over," he muttered through gritted teeth as he was hauled toward a waiting cruiser. Jordan watched impassively. "Yeah, I've heard that before." As the bikers were loaded into the vehicles, the station manager approached hesitantly, wringing his hands. "Detective, I didn't know what to do," he stammered. "They've been causing trouble around here for weeks, but I didn't think it'd get this bad." Jordan regarded the man thoughtfully. "Next time, maybe keep a better eye on who's messing with your customers." The manager flushed with embarrassment, but nodded earnestly. "You're right. I'll make sure this place stays safe from now on." Satisfied, Jordan turned back to his truck. He calmly refueled the last few drops, the rhythmic click of the pump, a stark contrast to the chaos that had unfolded just moments earlier. Daniels approached him with a curious smile. "You always manage to find trouble, don't you?" Jordan shrugged. "Sometimes it finds me." As the police cruisers pulled away, their lights fading into the distance, the gas station returned to an eerie stillness. Jordan climbed into his truck, the weight of the day finally settling over him. He took a deep breath, savoring the peace he had fought to reclaim. The road stretched out before him, endless and inviting. With a final glance at the now empty lot, he started the engine and drove away, the hum of the tires, once again the only sound accompanying him home. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey of resilience and justice. Jordan Hayes' story reminds us that strength isn't just about fighting back. It's about knowing when to stay calm and when to act decisively. If this story resonated with you, let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to tell us where you're listening from. We love hearing from our community. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss another unforgettable story. Until next time, stay hopeful, stay strong, and remember, every challenge is a chance to rise above.